nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, once again, welcome. We'll have a full attendance of the board tonight. We'll carry on business as usual. At this time, I'll ask for any additions or deletions to the agenda. All right, with none offered, those in favor of approving the agenda as published, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None offered. The agenda stands. We have no presentations scheduled. At this time, I'll open the floor to public comment limited to agenda items. There's limited public attendance, so I will take that as no comment on the agenda items, no hearings. We'll move to the consent agenda. Mr. Treasurer.
Mr. Supervisor, I would like to make a motion to approve consent agenda 14-097, which includes the minutes of the October 27th, 2014 regular meeting, check register dated November 7th, 2014, acceptance of 33rd District Court Budget 2014-2015, cancellation of the November 24th, 2014 Township Board meeting, and authorization to possess and distribute payments through December 5th, 2014.
Support.
Okay, moved by Treasurer Van seconded by Trustee Budney to approve the consent agenda. Any comments, questions among the board? All right, with none offered, those in favor of approving the consent agenda as published, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None offered. The agenda or the consent agenda stands approved. With that, we'll move to action items. Mrs. Smith.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to make a motion to accept with regret the resignation of Sharon Thomas from the Communication Commission effective November 10th, 2014.
Support.
Okay, moved by Trustee Smith, seconded by Trustee Budney to accept with regret the resignation of Sharon Thomas.
Sharon was actually a very well-respected member of the commission. She certainly lent a great voice of reason. Unfortunately, we're losing her because she has other commitments to her job. She's been asked to serve on a leadership team, so certainly we wish her luck with that.
The trouble with the improving economy, people are working and working longer and harder and not having time to donate. So, any comments from the board? With none offered, with those board members accepting with regret the resignation of Ms. Thomas, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Not that we could oppose it, but Ms. Thomas, thank you so much for your support. Action item number 2, I will introduce. I recommend the Grosse Township Board of Trustees approve participation in the that's Detroit Institute of Arts Inside Out program for the summer of 2015.
Support.
Okay, moved by Supervisor, seconded by Trustee Budney. And just a quick background, I'll read what we have published here. The administration office was contracted by Sue Trussell at the request of the Detroit Institute of Arts to inquire whether Grosse Township would be interested in participating in the DIA's Inside Out program. The DIA Inside Out program brings reproductions of great treasures from the Detroit Institute of Arts into the community. The application deadline was October 31st. Mrs. Knope has applied. Administration has submitted the application to preserve our consideration. There's no charge to be part of this program. If we are chosen, the DIA will work with the administration to identify the final installation sites. And I will, of course, solicit inputs from the community on where we would like to see these reproductions of artworks displayed around the township. Sites noted on the application are Township Hall, Water's Edge, Macomb Commons, and the Historical Society. I've been told to move quickly with this, but it's a fascinating process, and to have the artworks scattered throughout the community, I think would add a lot of value. Questions, comments, and again, at no cost to us. It just, I think it brings the community forward. And as I found out working with Ms. Trussell previously with the Downriver Council for the Arts, Grosse has more members of the Downriver Council for the Arts than any other Downriver community, so I'm proud of that. Comments from the board? Questions? Those in favor of taking part in the Detroit Institute of Arts Inside Out program, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None offered. We will proceed with it. Thank you so much. Action item number 3, Mr. Budney.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I'd like to make a motion based upon the recommendation of the DPS Commission and Charles E. Raines Company to award a bid for the removal and replacement of light fixtures at the Grosse Wastewater Treatment Plant to Newport Electric, Inc., lowest bidder, in the amount of $92,000.
Support.
Okay, moved by trustee Buddy, seconded by treasurer Van Os. Background.
Little background on this, it's the lighting way down in the depths of the wastewater treatment plant where there is a lot of corrosion. We're replacing 35 lights right now. Out of the 35 lights, I think we have 2 that work because of the corrosiveness. The new lights will be LED and also explosion-proof, which is the new requirement down there. So we went out for bid. We had 2 bids. Lowest bidder was Newport Electric.
Questions, comments among the board? You'd be happy with the LEDs. Ours on Macomb Street paid for themselves in about 2 years and saved money ever since. Very good reliability. DC, very safe. So, questions among the board?
No question. Just, I think that people are going to just question why it's $92,000 to replace 40 lights. And I know explained it's explosion-proof, but this is basically a new mandate that we're stuck with, right?
That is correct. Yeah, we're replacing it with what we have to, not what we want to. So, and it's costly. And it's not just the lights. You have the hangers, you have the switches, you have all those types of things that go with it that run the cost up.
Well, it'll improve the safety of the working conditions there. It's time. Mr. Treasurer.
Yeah, just a couple of comments, Eric. When the DPS Commission saw this number, everybody went into mild coronary shock. So we didn't approve it the first time it came in front of us. We did some pretty intensive investigation with regards to seeing what kind of a cost advantage we could attain by buying the merchandise ourselves and contracting a contractor to go out and just put the lights in. And when it was all said and done, it was very minimal. And of course, then we would be stuck with any warranty or warranty work that was involved with it. So when it came back in front of the DPS Commission, after a pretty thorough investigation, I know I spent hours on it, we've decided that this process probably may not be the best process, but with the constraints that we have with our bidding process in our municipal governments to ascertain that we get the best bid possible, we went with this particular bid. In the future, we're going to do some review on the front end of it rather than the back end of it. But even doing the review on the back end of this, the price looked to be high but reasonable.
Yeah, and Ted did do a lot of work on this. We looked at, as he said, us buying the equipment and letting someone else put it in. In this case, it didn't turn out to be all that cost effective, but it is something that we will be looking at in the future.
Okay. Other questions, comments? I'll say good job with your investigative work on this, your research, and again, it'll make a safer, longer-lasting working environment in the treatment plant. It's something we have to do, something we need to do. Other comments? Those in favor of approving the, I've got to get the right wording here. Holding things up. Okay, those in favor of approving, based on the recommendation of the DPS Commission and the Charles E. Raines Company, of awarding for the removal and replacement of light fixtures at the Grosse Ile wastewater treatment plant and awarding the contract to Newport Electric Incorporated, lowest bidder in the amount of $92,000. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None offered. It will be so executed. That will conclude our action items tonight. With that, we'll move on to clerk's report. Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Supervisor, quick clerk's report today. We'll start off by thanking both the staff with Sharon, Gail, and Brian for their superior professionalism during the election, and then also, and especially the poll workers, the folks that are in the polls, both the physical polls and the absentee ballot polls from basically 6:30 in the morning until 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night when everything is closed. So it's a tremendous tremendous gesture on their behalf. It is a paid position, but it's not necessarily a very well-paid position, and certainly we appreciate the support and dedication of the folks that come out and help us. Of note in the election, the specific the specific ballot items for Groseal were the two school board positions. Or the first one was the 6-year term where it's Callie Hooper-Yan, Frank DeMar III, and Patricia Selby. And then the other one is the 4-year term of Susan Sasek. Total voter turnout for Groseal was 57.58%. Just as a note, we've got 8,828 registered voters, of which 5,083 cast ballots in this election. So we had to move the precincts 3 and 4 from the VFW hall due to a pending real estate transaction. Now the general election is over, we'll take some time and identify what the right long-term location for that second location is, but we would also like to thank St. James Episcopalian Church for allowing us to use the facility for the election. And that's the clerk's report.
Do you know what the statewide average turnout was? It was under 50%. I don't put you on the spot.
Yeah, I don't have the statewide. I actually expected this to be a little higher than it was, but still was higher than most.
Yeah, I thought it was like in the 30% range, yeah. So we did quite well. I mean, we were at 58 almost.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you, Groseal voters, for being responsible in this democracy.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. October investment information was not completed at the time of this meeting. It will be on my website. You can go and review our expenditures and our savings list and where all our money's at. Preparations are in the works for the upcoming 2014 winter tax bills. They're expected to be mailed the first week in December. Winter tax bills will be due February 16th, 2015. Due on the 14th, on the 16th, due on the 14th, falling on a weekend. They're due on the 14th. No, I'm reading it right. It's due on the 14th. We'll be doing here on the 16th because the 14th is on a weekend. Winter tax deferments are now available. Interested and eligible residents can apply with extension for their winter tax due February 14th, 2015 to April 30th, 2015. Forms are available at my office or online, or give Annette a call and she'll guide you through the process. We have another meeting with the Commerce Park Commission on Monday. I believe that's the 17th. We also have a meeting in Lansing with the MDOT. Looks like they're talking about maybe accelerating our runway project. So we'll be taking a look at that. We're pretty excited about the fact that they're going to accelerate it because it was out there around 2018, 2019. And even with the acceleration, they're talking about rather than a 90-10 split for our cost, taking it down to a 95-5, which is a great opportunity for the township. And I have nothing else.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. We move on to trustee reports. Mr. Modesto.
Thank you. We'll start out with fire. Chief, things are pretty quiet in the fire department right now, other than all your calls. Okay, thank you. I wanted to put you on the spot.
Just busy.
Yeah. Recreation department, I got a few things in line coming up here. Number one is pet photos with Santa. It's going to be the weekend of November 29th and 30th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The photos are $10 each. It'll be at the Recreation Building on the Centennial Farm. And all proceeds will benefit the Groseal Animal Shelter and Tails. So get those four-legged friends down there and get their picture taken with Santa Claus. Number two, Island Glow. There's scheduled events. I'll just read through them briefly. 6 to 7, entertainment at Macomb Commons. 7 p.m., arrival of Santa by the fire truck. 7:10, Santa stroll on Macomb Street. And 7:30, the tree lighting ceremony in front of Perdino's. That'll be Friday, December 5th. It was cold last year. I remember that well. Everybody was bundled up. Number 3 would be Santa's mailbox. Delight your child with a Santa letter for the holiday season. Starting after Island Glow, the big red box at Macomb Commons will be taking letters to Santa until December 20th. And be sure your child includes their name, their age, and their complete mailing address. And last, number 4 is the brunch with Santa. So give Santa a great big welcome as he arrives to the party after brunch. Children must be accompanied by an adult who is registered and paid. Each child will visit with Santa, and parents will are asked to bring their own cameras. This is going to be Saturday, December 6th, 11 a.m. at the Centennial Farm. Advance tickets only. And help me with where are these tickets?
Rec department.
Okay, at the rec department then. And it's $8 per person, ages 3 and older, $7 for each additional child, and $3 ages 2 and younger. And that includes the brunch and the visit with Santa. So put their Christmas best on and get them down there and meet Santa. Thank you.
I think Brandy's going to be selling lots of tickets, so she's hit the ground running. We're going to be working her hard. Thank you, Mr. I just wanted to step in for just a second. I warned you, Chief, I was going to put you on the spot. Sorry to jump in on you, Tom, but this is a fire issue. We did have a rescue that made the news, and with the Coast Guard. And Chief, if you could, I didn't get too many details on that, other than 3 intrepid lads set out in a 12-foot boat and almost didn't come back.
We had 3 Wyandotte boys in a 12-foot boat.
Skipped school, went out in a 12-foot boat, no life preservers, no winter gear, no nothing. Went into the north side of Stony. The wind shifted, of course, that day out of the north. And anybody that boats knows, heavy wind out of the north turns the 3 to 4 footers going into the north of Stony. They couldn't get out. So we were ramping up to go out and get them, and we just got lucky. Coast Guard was out on maneuvers that day. So they hovered over the kids. They tried to get in first with their boats. They couldn't get in. But their helicopter was hovering, so they pulled them out via Stokes. Delivered them to us. We checked them all out. I met with the parents, and I gave the parents 2 options. Options is I was going to charge each one of them for the time, and or I loved community service out of 17-year-olds. So the parents opted for community service for these boys down at the fire station. So they're going to be cleaning up, washing stuff, and that kind of thing. So, but it was successful. They were smart in the sense that they stayed on the island. They didn't venture back out because the boat would have gotten swamped and it would have went down. So, but it was a pretty nasty night that Friday night. Remember last week? So it was pretty rough.
Yeah. Cold, windy.
Yes, it was, and the parents were not very happy. So.
Yeah. How did they use cell phones? How did they make contact?
Cell phone.
Okay.
Yep. I think they were more in trouble for skipping school than they were doing anything else. So, but yeah, if anything, they learned a very, very valuable lesson about the waters. So that's the good thing, and they got home safe. That's the important thing.
That's the important thing. And
absolutely.
If there's any message that I know the chief wants to put out, I want to put out. Don't worry about the repercussions. Don't worry about the costs. Our firefighters would much rather participate in a rescue than a recovery. Mm-hmm. Rescues cost less than recoveries. We all like the happy endings better than the dismal reporting. Mm-hmm. So don't hesitate. Don't worry about costs. If you're in a pickle, call them. That's why the guys are there.
That includes the ambulance service, all that. So don't hesitate. Call us.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry to put you on the spot, Chief, but that had a happy ending, so never mind those.
I just wanted to know how the Coast Guard beat you guys to it. But you explained it.
Actually, we were over the lake, so we lucked out. So we opted to utilize their services, which we don't get too often. So actually, it was a safe situation for everybody. My firefighters along with Coast Guard, so it worked out the best. If it need be, like we always do, we would have gotten in our boat and we would have gone out and got them. So, but it turned out good.
So the RFQ for the helicopter is...
No.
The funny thing is, I talked to one of the rescue swimmers and the pilot of the Coast Guard, and I said, "You charge for this?" They said, "No." And I said, "Why not?" And they said, "Well, it's part of the governmental service." But one thing they do charge, get this, fishermen. Because the fishermen use them as a taxi service when they get stranded out on the ice floe. So he said, "Yeah, we do charge the fishermen up on up in St. Clair. So I found that kind of unusual, so.
Perch is very expensive.
Those days they are.
All right, thanks, Chief. Thank you, Mr. Modesto. Mr. Budney?
Yes? I lost track. Thanks. A couple of things. No DPS meeting tomorrow due to it being Veterans Day and our offices being closed. I wanted to remind everybody that the Free Bridge will be closed November 22nd, which is Saturday, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for various maintenance and repairs. Just wanted to wish all the residents a happy Thanksgiving, since we won't have another meeting until after Thanksgiving. And lastly, I wanted to congratulate my grandson, Caden Eshelman, and his freshman football team for Gyra for a wonderful season. They made it all the way to the Peanut Bowl. Unfortunately, Woodhaven had some great teams. I guess they cleaned up on all the levels this year. So, but congratulations to the Gyra freshman football team.
Thank you. All right, that ends on a happy note, too. Ms. Pozalowski?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Mr. Budney read my notes. My first thing was to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. This is a really American holiday. If you're an American, you can celebrate Thanksgiving, and we have a lot to be thankful for. So, from my family to your family, have the best you can. Number two, next Tuesday, we're going to have a bike path meeting. At that meeting, we would invite the township's residents to come down and tell us what you like to see happening on the bike paths next year. If you have areas of concern, if you think there are places that need to be repaired, if there are things you've seen that you like, we'd love to have you there and get your input. Appreciate that if you can come. And that's for everyone up here at the board, too. Number three, the bridges have been steadily being worked on. If you walk by any of those bridges, you will see startling white wood in places where there are a lot of dark timber. They're going to be like that till at least spring, but the wood structures have been repaired by Mr. Pfeiffer under contract with the township. I think he's close to being done, if not done already. Number four, don't forget to buy a brick. We have a lot of room for Christmas bricks. We have a lot of room for Valentine bricks. If you put one out there that said, "I love Woody," you'd make somebody extremely happy. Okay? So now seriously, the bricks are for sale. We do. Put your list in early. We want to make sure that everybody who missed or thought they missed their opportunity to purchase a brick will do so. I have made comments in the past about the TV-12 issues, and I will tell you that it looks like we're getting started getting our fixes. We're not there yet, but we're getting started, and so I thank you for that. And one final request, please don't rake your leaves into the street and into the drain gutters. Every year at this time we see that happening, and every year the first good rain we have flooding all over the township where we have curbs. So please, if you're going to pick up your leaves, bag them. Compost them, but don't leave them in the street and don't plug the sewers. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Posiask. Mrs. Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. As far as the audio that Trustee Posiask mentioned, I just wanted to give everybody kind of a quick little update. I know that Ted has been working vigilantly on this issue, and he has had a couple of vendors and service providers come in, and he's also seeking out expertise from outside consultants. So slowly but surely, he's ticking it off the list. He did provide me with a brief write-up as far as what's been accomplished so far, and there's more to come. I think when it comes to some of the audio issues, it's just a matter of implementing Phase 3 of what the Communications Commission had promised to do, and that was scheduled for next year. So we might just decide to move that along a little quicker. So hopefully he'll have some numbers to us in the next couple of weeks, probably for the December meeting, I'm hoping. As far as the website, There has been a few delays here and there, and we're going to be talking about those delays and how do we rectify it so that we can get the website up and running, hopefully by the end of this year, if not sooner. But we do have a Communications Commission meeting on Wednesday at 5 o'clock, so that will be certainly a topic for discussion. As far as, I just want to say thank you to all of my fellow board members. It's been 2 years now that we're going on serving together, and it's been fun. It's been very enlightening so far, and I know that the next 2 years will be equally as long. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Well said.
Okay, I've got a bunch of stuff to cover because with the canceling of the November meeting, I've got to get us all the way through to December. There's a lot happening between now and then. Let's see. Fortunately, my fellow board members have covered a lot of this. As you're now aware, the November 24th board meeting has been canceled, so if you didn't come tonight and you were going to let us have it on the November 24th meeting, you're going to have to wait till December the 8th, and hopefully you'll forget what you were mad about then. Township offices will be closed, as you're aware, they'll be closed tomorrow for Veterans Day, open again on Wednesday morning. Also be closed on Thursday and Friday, November 27th and 28th for the Thanksgiving holiday, opening again the following Monday morning. Okay, what my wife is working on now, the Grosse Historical Society Holiday Boutique. I always start advertising at this time of year. We open all weekends, starting on November 28th. Again, we don't have a board meeting before then, so beginning on November 28th it opens. And all weekends in December, ending on December 21st. All proceeds benefit the Historical Society. And as I shamelessly promote this event, if that boutique doesn't have it, you don't need it. So do your Christmas shopping there first. They really do have some unique local items, stuff you can't find anywhere else. So let's see, we covered, Mr. Malvesto covered all that. Holiday luncheon for Grosse seniors again at Centennial Farm on December 10th, 12:30 p.m. Advance tickets only $10. Again, call the rec department. Brandy, 675-2364. I love having her on board. You've been briefed about the, I hate calling it the free bridge. There are no free bridges. The Grosse Free Bridge, Wayne County Bridge 382 costs us a bundle. Also everybody else in Wayne County. But there's no free roads and no free bridges. I felt obliged to advise you that, let's see, November, in 1976, Native American Awareness Week was expanded by Congress and it was called Native American Awareness Week in November. In 1990, President Bush and Congress expanded it to the month, so I'm declaring November as National American Indian Heritage Month. So keep that in mind as we move from month to month. And finally, more good stuff, and Mrs. Darzak is not here to promote this a little bit more. November 23rd, Sunday, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., we're having the grand opening of the Trenton Veterans Memorial Library. It's the same library, but rather than, it's no longer part of the Wayne County system, it is a local municipal library. Brownstown, Grosse Ile, Trenton, and Woodhaven. I anticipate better service, although service was always good, but it's going to cost us significantly less money and more local control over this library. So there will be some local authors there presenting their books. A lot of us elected officials will be there, and it's open to everyone, light refreshments. So come and see your library under new management, and I think that completes my report. Move on to Township Manager, Mr. Riem.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. A few brief items. I'd like to inform the board and the community that the Township Supervisor and the Fire Chief have been working with DTE and the freighter companies to get a protocol to get the word out to the residents as close to real time as possible when the freighters come. Currently, we receive that notice, we send it out, put it on a web page, put it into our Facebook groups, but we're working on getting a call in as real time as possible, so that is in process. The school path between the high school and administration building, those repairs have been completed, and there are no legal fees to report. So, nothing else, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Riem. At this time, open up to public comment. You have the rules, 3 minutes. Mr. Clark? You still have 3 minutes, Woody.
That's right. Woody Clark, Park Lane. The cars in the pen look like they're having babies. We have 4 now. Any of those going to be auctioned off? No. Okay. The wood cutting went really good. We had about 25 people. And we're trying to set up a new system so we can contact them rather than put it in the paper and stuff. We just email them. Veterans Day, take a vet to lunch. On your sound system, open space meeting, great. The only problem is no sound. And everybody says they're working on it, and that was wow. A resident called me and said they can see the picture, but couldn't hear any sound.
It's Comcast also.
Huh?
Comcast also.
Was it really?
Which meeting?
Huh?
Open space.
No, I know,
Open
but
space
the
meeting.
most recent one?
Huh?
The most recent one?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's open space, WOW and Comcast.
Yep.
No sound. I'm hearing you have something you can put in, but you haven't put it in yet, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
You have something that you can put in so the sound works? Is this a plug or something that's in the system?
Oh, I'm sure there's lots of plugs.
I know that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The only thing that I can do is send this off to Ted and let him know about it. So I'm not sure. Maybe it was something with the rebroadcast of it.
Also, this thing here is first alert, carbon monoxide alarm, very good. Saved my life about 5 years ago, not this one, but another one. I had one on and plugged in, and I had the generator running, window open, it sucked it right into the house. So,
Is that a battery operated one?
battery operated, this one is, but you can have both in one. You can even put the fire alarm in it too. And all three, all two with the battery plus the plug-in, and it works fine. You want anything about natural news, you can go to naturalnews.com, nice site, tells a lot of things what's going on about a bulldog. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Additional public comment? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mosey.
You asked earlier about voters, percentage
Yes.
statewide is 43%.
Congratulations, Grocio. It's a little lower than I'd like to see, but well above the state average. Thank you, sir. Chief?
Yeah, real quick, Fire Department Groseville Goodfellows is touring up. If you know of any families or anybody that needs something, please get a hold of me at the fire station. E-Light, a couple of things. That's going to be revamped hopefully shortly. The company E-Light got a federal grant to come through and do the whole downriver and upgrade everything at no cost to us. First call. If you're not on first call, please get a hold of me at the station so I can direct you to the website that you need to be at to sign up and sign in. And then radio station, of course, any type of emergencies, AM 1500 with the community. 1700. I don't know why I'm thinking 1500. And then just a little tidbit. We're seeing more and more with fire and rescue, people not yielding emergency vehicles. Please either stop or move to the right. If you stop, at least we can make a decision on which way we're going to go. But we're seeing more and more of it during the course of emergencies. People just continue to drive, and we need that to stop because the person doing the driving doesn't know what to anticipate. So it's important.
Okay, well, I'll do what I can to push that out too. Thanks, Chief. All right, other public comment? With none offered, Mr. Budney.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Seconded by Trustee Posey. Yes, those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We stand adjourned, and let's make that at 8:04 p.m. Thank you.